Isn't it funny when you don't make a video for quite a while? It's always bizarre, considering I've got nearly 700 videos on the channel. It's just mental. Anyway, right, what the fuck? Last video that I put up, I showed how the workshop was pretty much complete, and it was, you know, getting there. Now what happened was, as you all know, I've had a pretty bad back issue for quite a while now, which has obviously slowed everything down, and that's the cause of it. Well, there's a couple of more symptoms that have appeared, and I now have an extremely good GP, which came recommended, and he's very knowledgeable. And the new symptoms is kind of confirmed that what the problem is what's called a herniated disc. Now I'd been told previously by a surgeon a couple of years ago, or a consultant, that I had a collapsed disc. Now I think that was a layman's way of saying a herniated disc. Well, it was, to be honest, and he said at the time there's nothing they could do about it. Well, like, it's in the last 24 months, it's got worse, and it seems to be ramping up and getting progressively worse. And like I said, there's a new symptom appeared, which is confirmed that's what it is. It is a herniated disc between T7 and T8. Now, this new GP is also very proficient in pain management, which my last one wasn't at all. It was crap, utter crap. Well, for me to go see the pain management clinic, it can take up to and sometimes longer than 6 months. Now, if you've got a progressive problem, or you have any issues with the medication, 6 months is a fucking long time. Well, anyway, I was talking to my GP, and I was taking 6 drugs, a combination of codeine. I don't mind telling you because it is what it is. Codeine, tramadol, amitriptyline, pregabalin. Well, we've got codeine, tramadol, pregabalin, amitriptyline, metazanol, and oromorph. And I didn't like it because they're all synthetic, apart from the oromorph. And you know, with the crazy research I do, I'm not happy with some of the psychotropic aspects of metazanol and pregabalin, and especially amitriptyline. But anyway, I was mentioning this to my doctor, and he said, well, would you be happier going on to a morphine-based pain management? And I said yes, because in his words, people have been taking opiates for over 2,000 years, and they work. So what happened was I came off all of them at the same time, and me being me, just cold turkey, right, come off them all, and started taking what's called MST, which is a slow release morphine, and we started building up the dosage to try and find the point where the pain would be relieved. Well, anyway, I started taking that and Sevrodol, which is a fast-acting morphine sulfate, and what happened was, with the combination of coming off all those other drugs and starting the new ones, for some reason the Sevrodol made me extremely ill very quickly. You're talking within minutes of taking them. And also by this time the pain was starting to get extremely intense, so I had to, find a way of dealing with the pain as well as the problem with the withdrawal, etc. And it got to the point where I lost 6 kilograms. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. I lost 6 kilograms in 9 days. Yeah, that's how you do weight loss. Yeah, so extremely ill. I had to. It took me. If I was needed the toilet very quickly, if you catch my drift, it was the sink. or outside or anywhere near it. It was that quick that I couldn't actually get to the toilet. If I needed to go to the toilet otherwise, it would take me 10-15 minutes, and I would have to do a few steps at a time and sit down. I had no motor functions, I couldn't eat, couldn't drink, and this went on for about 3 weeks, but it gradually eased off. As the withdrawal kind of, you know, eased off, and also, just bear with me, just put that down. As the withdrawal eased off, and I was increasing the dose of the MST, I had to start taking the Severodol again to manage pain, and blah blah blah. Well, anyway, I started to come round, and that's not a problem. So taking the Aurum off as well, and I've got to a point now where I can now partially function, although I'm constantly aware of the problem, but I can do little bits at a time, which is more than what I could before, and I'm on just one kind of drug. Now that worked pretty well, but it was still flaring up and getting very angry very quickly. So unfortunately I've had to go back a step, and I've had to go back onto the pregabalin, 600 milligrams twice a day, which is a pretty big dose, and it is easing off and getting a bit better again. But I'm still having to take extra Severodol, and I'm still having to take extra morphine when it flares up. However, I am now able to do short spurts in the workshop. So I've had 4 weeks of don't know what you really want to call it. Train spotting comes to mind, only without the babies. Yeah, so now I still have the small problem of this little bastard tripping the 60 amp pre-earth, pre-MCD earth protector in the house, which I shall show you now. Yeah, and this is what it's tripping. So it's missing the RCD in the garage, it's missing the RCD in the house, I think. It's missing the MCD, correct me if I'm wrong, and it's tripping this little bastard here. If it'll focus. I've never seen one of these before. Tripping current 30 milliamp, rated current 63 amps, 240 volt, 50 hertz. So if anyone can shed any light, I'd really appreciate it. And for those that are wondering, Milo, hello. Ta-da! Yeah, so we don't know why. It is intermittent, so the grinder will run fine, on off, on off, on off, bang, there it goes. Now that means I can still use my grinder, thank fuck, because that would be detrimental. Knife maker with no grinder, yes. Take a rather long time with files to do what I do. So yeah, so I can use my grinder. The only issue that I have until I can get it resolved, which I think it needs what's called a leak down test to determine where the fault actually is. Now I can't afford Sparky to do it at the minute. I do have a couple of friends that could possibly do it, but it's getting in touch with them and so on and so forth. Not spoken to them for quite a long time, you know, this sort of thing, but I will resolve that. But the point I was trying to make is I can't use it while my mum is at home, because while she's watching EastEnders and Coronation Street, the last thing she wants is the power to be tripping all the time. Yeah, So I am restricted time-wise because she finishes work at 3:30 every day, and obviously she's around at the weekend, so I've got very limited time where I can use the grinder, taking into account it's also tripping. But I'm going to push and do as much as I can. Yes, the custom work, it's my ultimate priority. I still do need to make some money though, because I still need to replace a lot of stuff that I lost, if you remember, in the last workshop. I did get some money back off the landlord, which I'm very grateful for, but it didn't cover everything, and there has been other things that I've found that were damaged by the water since then. I do have quite a lot of stuff to replace. I'm desperate for bandsaw blades, and they are not cheap. If you buy cheap bandsaw blades, it's pointless to run them in a decent bandsaw. Right, so yeah, anyway, I need belts for the old linisher. I'm not too bad-ish at the minute with belts for that. I do have a Kubatron belt. Thank you, Duncan. Duncan, come to the rescue once again. You, sir, are a legend, and we will sort stuff out very soon. One way or another, I promise. But yeah, so what I've got to do at the minute is all kinds of custom work. As far as making money to replace stuff, the first thing will be this, which isn't going to take a lot of completion because it is already HT'd. Just needs finishing. I'm going to use my Scotch-Brite belts, which I'm grateful for. I got while I had the chance. So I've got these Scotch-Brite belts, which I can do some pretty funky finishes with. And I'm fairly well stocked. Thank you to GPS and Anne and Matt, who have sorted me out with quite a lot of cool stuff. Well, your normal stuff and some very cool stuff. Very expensive, but very cool stuff. Some people will know what that is. That is a very, very expensive piece of material. Very expensive, but it should be pretty damn cool. I do have this rather stonking piece of glow in the dark, so I am going to be making a couple. I can just about manage with a bandsaw blade that I've got to rough stuff out, but I do need to rely on my grinder as well. Yeah, but I'm going to make 2 Salios. Those of you that know will know what they are. One with G10 liner, one with carbon fibre liner, or possibly a laminated carbon fibre G10 liner. And I'll also do a Lilith, which I will do with a G10 liner, or possibly a wood liner. I've got some interesting ideas with that. So those will be for sale fairly soon. As far as the folding knives, people waiting for folding knives, I've just recently got 5 pivots. Not sure where they are kicking around somewhere, because while I wasn't making knives so much, I gave all my pivots to my friends that needed them, and now I have none, so now I need them, but I've managed to get 5 pivots. Again, thank you to Matt and Anne GPS for helping me out. They've put some trust in me, and gonna sort that out. So yeah, so that's the update as far as the workshop goes. So people, please bear with me. I am doing the absolute best that I can. However, we do know now that the reason why I've been slowing down is a genuine reason, and I don't want anybody to think, because there's a couple of people that have mentioned it to a degree. I don't want anybody to think that I've fucked the knife making off. That is absolutely 155,000% incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. All I want to do is knife making full time, but I am restricted with the health problems. I am going to see a surgeon on the 22nd of this month, which is not far away, and I may or may not get a resolve, depending on where the herniation is on the disc, how bad it is, etc. There is some relatively simple fixes which are surgical, and there is some, depending on if the hernia is at the front, T7, T8 is right behind the heart, and to get to it they have to go through the front. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it would, if that was the case, then I have some very serious thinking to do, especially at the age of 34. So anyway, there you go, that's a workshop update. You will be starting to get more videos. Like I say, I did plan on doing videos every other day, but I had that little hiccup with the medication. That's now stabilised, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore, for now at least. Right, I'm going to do another video now with regards to the Ugly Duckling project. So, I'll catch you later. Oh yeah, one of the first things I need to do is retidy this shit tip. Oh yeah.